It's bluebell time of year, and what a photographer's dream they are. Beautiful in their blue, purple, and magenta tones. They're vibrant, they're the sign of spring. What better way to spend some time than wandering amongst the bluebells in a beautiful piece of woodland like this? So why are they so hard to photograph? Time and time again we can come back, having had a wonderful time with bluebells, to find that our photographs just don't represent the feeling and the sort of awe and wonder that we experience when we're in the woods. And there are a few things that consistently people tend to make the mistake of with bluebells. So what we're going to do in this video is go for a little wander in the woods with a camera and a dog and take some lovely photographs of bluebells and try and impart some of the sort of problem avoidance stuff that I've learned over the years that can make an absolute treat of a bluebell photograph or go a little bit off the plot. And I'm going to show you both, and then you can decide what works for you. Let's go for it. One of the first question marks is, do we shoot wide or do we go telephoto? And both, of course, can be really effective, but quite often a carpet of bluebells like this is just completely overwhelming. There's just too much to it. So I quite like going telephoto, and I'm on 200 mil at the moment. And that's going to create a lot of compression, so all the bluebells are going to kind of compress together. I'm going to shoot with my aperture wide open, which gives a nice shallow depth of field, which allows me to just isolate one stem of bluebells with a lovely sea of purple and blue behind it. The other advantage of the telephoto, of course, is that we can stay on the path and not interfere and trample all the other bluebells. I'm going to recompose that. Take the aperture. Wait, just so we get a little bit more definition of other bluebells in the back. Another thing that can mess up your bluebell photography is actually too many bluebells, believe it or not. That at times just need something else to frame them, to give them some kind of context to where they are. So here what I found is a nice fern. It's just giving them the context of where they are in the woodland. I'm going to put my focus on the fern itself, which has actually got some quite bright sunlight, so I'm going to just change my UVs, check the histograms that I'm capturing as much as possible. I've also got a polarizer on, twizzle, just to take some of the reflection off. Flowers are surprisingly reflective, so having a polarizer on the front really help with that. So, making sure that you've got proper colours coming through. Great. Try one with the aperture wide open at 2.8. Another biggie, as with all photography, is light. And our main challenge with Bluebells is a nice bit of light contrast, bring out what we're trying to actually capture quite nicely. Too much light, particularly direct sunlight, will burn your image out really quickly, and you have to keep really tight control of your exposure, because what looks good to the naked eye and on the back screen will quite often have too much reflection on them. So as I say, having a polarizer helps. Also, just waiting a minute for the sun to go behind a cloud, a much richer texture in the petals, you lose contrast. So that kind of dappled shade, dappled sun, or like I suppose the absolute archetypal bluebells would be early morning in a mist, or an evening soft golden hour light. Personally, probably because I've just shot it far too many times, I can no longer stand a golden hour shot of bluebells. For me, it's just far too vibrant. I think I've been spoiled by years of chasing the Instagram algorithm, trying to oversaturate everything to get likes, and I can't deal with it anymore. Oh, my dog is so bad at leaving a trace. Shocker. Right, I'm just going to wait for the sun to come back in, so I can give you a contrast with what it looks like in bright sun. And it is gorgeous. I'm really careful. Lovely contrast. So to try and demonstrate what I mean by having a polarizing lens on your camera, I don't know whether it will work putting it over the video camera, but we can see that bluebells are looking good. There's a lot of light bouncing off them. If I put the polarizer over, you can hopefully see I'm spinning it round at the moment, so it turns like this. Turn it round until we get a nice dark saturation. And hopefully you can see that a lot of the reflective light off the bluebells has stopped. If I take it away, you can get contrast. You're getting a lot more detail. I think I've hit my own personal saturation point now, that all the compositions that I'm getting now, I'm essentially using the same formula. I'm using a 200mm to compress the image. I'm looking for something like a fern or vibrant green, beech leaves or moss on a tree to contrast it. And I'm doing it on raw fern. So it's essentially the same shot over and over and over again, which is not to sound overly moany, because this is a beautiful subject photograph. The problem being is that essentially, once you get a good photograph of a bluebell, it's very similar to every other good photograph that you've ever taken of a bluebell, and not even able to differentiate between years. So I'm going to mix it up a little bit. As those that have followed the channel will know, I'm a little bit obsessed with my vintage glass. Helios Soviet lens at the moment, so I'm going to take the telephoto off, put that on, and experiment a little bit by getting right down to Bluebells. Actually, I don't have a map on it, so that's where I'll go to otherwise. But I can get quite close with it with Helios. It's 58 mil, so we can get it nice and essentially take portraiture of a flower and mix it up that way. See what we can get. Ooh. We have got some bright sun, so I might also try doing some portraiture shooting into the sun, so the sun's behind the flower, if I can find anyone to do that, because that kind of spirally bouquet that you get with Helios might come out of there. So let's try that. That was exactly what the doctor ordered, really, by swapping over to the vintage glass, all manual, and with its inherent flaws. That's reinvigorated my interest in bluebells, which is what's needed sometimes, because they are beautiful, but you can become overwhelmed by just like how many bluebells there are, how colourful they are. And it's something to carry forward into post-process as well, that it's very easy to over-process bluebells, and I've alluded to it earlier, but during the glory days of Instagram, where one could still get followers and likes, or is it just me? By overcooking your images, putting up the saturation, making them really crunchy with sharpness, you get more likes. And that was the worst era for my photography, because I feel like I sold part of my soul in order to making progression on Instagram, and it didn't do my photography any favours. And bluebells remind me of that time quite a lot, because they are very colourful. They lend themselves to lots of saturation, and of course we see beautiful images of them at golden hour with lovely sunsets and things like that. But it just doesn't do it for me anymore at all. I do feel burnt out by that. So coming at it from a different angle, of using a different type of lens, different type of angle. I almost always shoot low now, for example. So I'm going to try and get some bird's eye views and some different views like that. But I have really enjoyed getting right down low and actually shooting up at the bell of the flowers as well, which is lovely. Whatever you need to do in order to keep the passion alive, I think is the lesson there. Well, there we go. It's time to head back now, unfortunately, but what a beautiful morning to spend in the woods seeking out some bluebells. It was hailing this morning, absolutely clattering it down with hail. I didn't think we were going to get away with it, so I'm really chuffed that the sun's come out and we've managed to get a lovely little walk around the woods and shoot some bluebells. I've had some tips in there along the way. Hopefully they're useful. If they have been useful, I'd really appreciate a cheeky little like and a subscribe. That probably doesn't surprise you because you hear that on every YouTube video, don't you? But that really does help with the encouragement to keep making videos, which I'm really enjoying. And if you've got any questions, please do put those in the comments and we can have a chat about all things bluebells. And just to finish on, I guess, magpie, very important to salute. Just to finish on, I think an important thing to remember in any kind of photography really, but particularly nature photography when you're out in these beautiful places, is to not overthink it too much. We're shooting a beautiful subject when it comes to bluebells. They kind of speak for themselves, so we don't have to worry too much. We can just sit back and really enjoy being in a forest landscape, because that's good for the soul and that's ultimately what it's all about. So don't stress it too much. I'd actually recommend probably spending at least the first half hour just having a wander, taking it all in, sit amongst the trees and find a bit of peace and quiet out in the woods, and then turn your attention to the photography. It's a beautiful time of year. It'd be a shame to spoil it by getting stressed out by bluebell compositions or any other kind of photography for that matter. What a beautiful place this is. And I go down this little path here. So there is a stunning carpet that I must have completely walked past last time, and it is beautiful. Check this out.